guys on everything, 98% of the issues, except for one, the one big issue I'm kind of stuck on remains abortion. It's this life at conception idea, and the idea to me seems kind of arbitrary, especially when you bring in concepts like cloning.
So the question is about abortion, and I think a good way for me to say a word about it is to actually connect it to the debate with Lincoln. Lincoln, as you know, had a series of famous debates with Douglas. This is Stephen Douglas, the Democrat, on the issue of slavery. And Douglas argued something very interesting. Douglas said that slavery is a really complicated subject on which Americans disagree. I mention this because when I give you the Douglas argument, think of the parallel to the so-called pro-choice argument. Douglas says, we're a big country, some people are for slavery, some people are not. Douglas goes, who knows who's right? Who knows? Douglas goes, let's agree to disagree. Why don't we have every community, every state, every territory decide for itself if it wants to have slavery? So basically what Douglas is saying is not for the individual but for the community, let's be pro-choice on the issue of slavery. Why? Because it's a controversial issue. So people have religious views on it. You can't impose your morality on somebody else. Douglas's argument is incredibly modern. Very familiar to us in this other context. And it's very interesting to hear what Lincoln replies. Because Lincoln replies this. Lincoln basically says that we live in a free country where choice is and should be the overwhelmingly preponderant principle. But, says Lincoln, with one notable exception. Namely, you do not have the choice to cancel out the choices of other people. You don't. And this is very consistent with John Stuart Mill's idea that you have the right to swing your fist as long as it doesn't come into contact with my jaw. So you have the right to choose, but you cannot crush the choices of another person. And slavery, says Lincoln, is just that. So choice is inoperative when it comes to other people who themselves have choices. And this would be the way I would look at the abortion debate, is, to me, it's not an argument about, like, does life begin at conception, does it begin at viability? Whatever we think about when it begins, this is a developing life that has choices ahead of it. There is a narrative for this life to live. Clearly it's life, and clearly it's human life. What other kind of life is it? It's not a hippopotamus or an amoeba. So if you concede it's life, and we can't deny it's life. I mean, we have a whole project looking for life on other planets, which is looking for the most minimal indications, which if they were found, you would have a worldwide celebration. Life. Can you imagine if you went to another planet and found a fetus with a heartbeat and motion, and when you try to get it, it moves away in the amniotic fluid, and we're debating, is that life? So I think this is where the sort of Lincoln model to me is eye-opening. Ironically, the historical debate we've been talking about throws some light on this issue. So I'm not pretending to resolve it. I would just say, think about it.